Okay, so we are in Buenos Aires, and I am joined with Santiago. Santiago, please tell me about yourself.
Hi, I'm Santiago Magnin. I'm the owner and founder of the Inmobiliario.com. That is a real estate brokerage here in Buenos Aires.
Where exactly are we?
We are exactly in the Palermo neighborhood in the Buenos Aires city, and Buenos Aires is the capital city of Argentina. The area specific is the Libertador Avenue, that is the north limit of Palermo, and you have like several blocks down the south, and this neighborhood is the highest priced and the neighborhood with most transactions in Buenos Aires, followed by Recoleta, that is the neighborhood that you can see over there.
Who is buying real estate in this area?
Almost everyone that is buying real estate here are homeowners. A couple of them are investors from Argentina, and a couple of them are people from other countries that come to live to Argentina. We have very, very little people that invest here and don't live here. I was talking to you before we started recording about, for example, in my kid's school, he has 14 classmates and 5 of them are Russians. So we have a lot of Russian immigration here in Palermo and Recoleta, 2 neighborhoods from Buenos Aires, not that much in all the other neighborhoods, but all the buying that comes from people like foreigners is to live here. It's very uncommon we sell some real estate to someone that doesn't live here.
A lot of foreigners, when they come here or come to Latin America, their number one question is safety. So how safe is it in Buenos Aires?
It's really safe. Like, for example, if you look at the statistics from Buenos Aires and you compare them with US states, you will find out that Buenos Aires, for example, has a homicide rate, for example, in the middle of the table from the US states. You can find half US states have higher homicide rates than Buenos Aires. So it's kind of a confusion to think that Buenos Aires is unsafe or something like that. Here in the city of Buenos Aires, you have like 3 corridors, like informally, like the North Corridor, the West Corridor, and the South Corridor. The safest part of the city is where we are currently right now. It's the North Corridor that involves, for example, neighborhoods like Retiro, Recoleta, Palermo, Belgrano, Núñez. All those neighborhoods are from the North Corridor. That is the most expensive and the safest ones.
In these areas, what are we looking at real estate price-wise?
Yeah,
in US dollars.
Excluding Puerto Madero, that is the most expensive neighborhood in Buenos Aires, but has very little transactions. Then you've got Palermo, that is currently at approximately 2,600 per square meter. Then you go to Recoleta, for example, at approximately 2,500. And then the other neighborhoods from the North Corridor, for example, Retiro, is approximately at $2,000. But we are currently like 40% down from the historic high of 2017, where, for example, in Palermo, you had apartments selling for $4,000, that if you adjust that for US inflation, you get, like, for example, now something like 5,200. So if you compare the 2,600 that we are currently trading with the 5,200 that was 7 years ago, you will realize that we are currently very cheap for the kind of quality for the kind of city that Buenos Aires is.
So are you noticing people relocating or looking for it as a primarily investment?
We are not seeing a lot of people looking at Buenos Aires as an investment and investing from abroad, not because it's hard to buy real estate in Buenos Aires, but it's kind of hard to sell it. It's very different to buy than to sell. When you sell in Buenos Aires, you will have like a lot of taxes to get out of your investment. So it's really cheap to buy, but then when you have to sell, it's kind of difficult. So you will have to structure the investment in some kind of society or something that facilitates a foreigner to sell in the future when he decides to do it. So the most common thing is to find foreigners to come live in Buenos Aires, and rents are currently between 5 and 6%, the rental yield from properties here. So it's kind of cool to buy at half a price what usually was the prices in Buenos Aires, and with a rental yield that is above, for example, a US Treasury or something like that.
That's exactly what you're going after my next question. When it comes to rental yields, what do people expect?
Well, in the safest neighborhoods like this one, you will find yields between 5 and 6%. But in the neighborhoods, for example, from the West Corridor, the yield is a little bit higher, and in the South Corridor, the yields can go up to 10 to 12%, as well as offices. Offices in Buenos Aires are currently between 10 and 12% of yield. But why is that? Because the 5% yield, from, for example, from Palermo, is influenced by prices. It's kind of unbelievable for people that are not from here to understand why prices go from an starting place to the half of that price, and then to double the price in such short term. And the answer for that, I think, is because salaries go very high very quickly, and the other way around too. So you have prices that go from 2,000 to 4,000 in very little time, but then come again from 4,000 to 2,000 in very short time. So it's very unstable. And currently we are at the lower side of the graph, if you want, and you are not buying the 5% yield, but you're buying the opportunity for the real estate to appreciate over time as the salaries appreciate.
Okay, so my last question is, if you do get foreigners, and wherever those foreigners are coming from, what are the questions that they're asking? They must have a list or something. Like, what are the most popular questions that people will be asking when they come here?
The number one question is that they don't understand how a country can go from a 500 US dollars of a median salary 1 year to 1,000 the next year, and to 500 the next year. So that instability goes also to consumer goods, because, for example, if you look at the Big Mac index, you will find out that Argentina is only below Switzerland and a couple of countries, very developed countries, not countries like compared to us. So it's kind of curious, and they don't understand why 1 year you can live in Buenos Aires in the upper middle class with 3,000 US dollars, and the next year you need 6,000 US dollars to live the exact style of life. So that's the first question, and that is a very difficult question to answer, because you have to talk about macroeconomics, and it's kind of difficult. But the short answer is Argentina is very unstable, and you will find out that sometimes in some periods you will buy, I don't know, a private education for your kid for $200, and the next year for 500, and everything is like that. You can't make an Excel and have a 20-year horizon of what is going to happen. And that's the reason why in Buenos Aires you can make a lot of money investing wisely, because that instability gives you opportunities from time to time.
You have a very successful YouTube channel here, so please explain like what you do and where people can find you.
Yeah, if you put Santiago Magnin in YouTube, you can find me. I have a YouTube exclusively focused in real estate agents. I try to educate, I make trainings and all that kind of things for real estate agents to empower themselves and sell more with their same time and everything.
Please go subscribe to his channel to be listed down below and in the next video, and subscribe, like, comment, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you.